any prior notification. And the simple reason is that I basically have a place to be. I have like dinner reservations to attend. So yeah, as you can see, there's like more sunlight than there usually is from the time that I usually record these videos. Today we are looking at two very specific pieces of content. First of them is crypto Twitter Copypasta. Now this is basically the backbone of CT in general, CT culture. And the other one that we are going to be looking at is basically an article from Matt Huang, who is basically, I believe, the co-founder of Paradigm, and he basically wrote something back in 2023 about the casino on Mars, and that is what we are going to be looking at as well. Like the entire blog post in general, I think it's like really long in some sense. I mean, not really long, but I'm basically going to like go through it one by one, and like it's just like something good to look at, especially as we venture into the bear market. But starting off, we are going to look at this account. I don't know this guy, Big D Senpai guy, but he has worked a lot for the preservation of CT uh, through its copy pastas, right? Like I've seen like one of his pieces back in like 2022 or 2023, and he's basically making like the Twitter copy pasta reservoir starting all the way from 2013 to 2025. I think this is basically the end all be all, right? The buy walls that saved crypto. I need price to go up. Right? I can't take this anymore. Every day I'm checking, price is going down. Loom dot screwing a female cow. So, yes, I have a mandatory 300 despite supporting it in the past. It's so much walking most abundance balance. This is the period of my life. I think this is I am pretty sure that this guy has scoured through the internet to find these, right? Screenshotting NFTs is not funny. Delete the screenshot. uh, I trust you in person. Oh, this is from him only. Oh wow, that means he goes out, man. Deeply unserious industry. I'm deeply unserious industry at the moment. I deposit millions too long. Posted before bankruptcy. Lol. Is he still alive? Oh no, no he's not. But still, you're a lab that uses inspect element. Damn. Okay, this is an insane thing to make. Walton chain, Walton integrated work. Backlash is providing shit coins and dumping on their followers 1600 access back. Oh my god. Oh, that was an impulsive mistake. Insane. Insane, man. Dear Noobs, coins is not naturally going down. Shiva Army. Yes. Andrew Keys. So these are all like you can find all of these like being repeated under a tweet or even being like used later on, but you may not know where do they come from, and this is what this guy is preserving. It's basically like this one. Oh, in case of it, I do not have anything with you. I do not know how I have hair. I do not support any actions from by members of this group. Who was this, bro? I didn't even know. Co-founder site supply. This is probably was one of the most legendary things I've ever seen. Things on the internet, on X actually. Yeah, Kaleo, I'm out. I'm liquidate again. Sam Triboko, and this just keeps going on and on and on and on. So yeah, Trader Main, Loom dot testimonial, of course, is one of the greatest to all do it. So yeah, insane stuff, insane, absolutely goated stuff that this guy's putting out. I highly recommend like just checking him out. I actually left a comment on this for like how can we like support you as like a person, and what he said was that he has like this ENS kind of a thing where you can basically just like send him money. I would highly advise that you do. I'm so sorry. I'm like scrolling at the speed of light at this point. Yeah, this one basically it's 0xxbt.eth. You can like send him some money. He's not asked me to promote this. He's like, I just look at it from the same perspective as the grand timeline. I think one another person who's really good at these things is this guy. Uh, his name is Igor or Igor. I don't know how you pronounce it, but he's basically built out this entire thing. It's the entire timeline of crypto as like an industry. It's so beautiful. Like the amount of nerdiness that is even required to put something like this together. I just have no words. Like, do you understand like how beautifully this is made? Like, oh my god, like I'm probably gonna come simply by looking at it. It's that beautiful, right? And you might think this is all like like Fugazi, but no, these are all real things. The economists get ready for the currency, blah blah blah. And this is 1988. Economists predicted world currency will arrive in the year 2018. Crypto Anarchist Manifesto, Timothy C. May, DG Cash came through. Timestamp Digital Documents, Cypherpunk Manifesto by Eric Hughes, probably one of the most popular documents, Cyphernomicon, right? This was again from Tim May. So this is basically like one of the most, detailed timeline of everything else. And you can see that there are still people who do not have like their bios right just yet, but they will come through like very, very soon. The guy who makes it, like, I think his name is Igor, and I would highly recommend everyone to like just reach out, try to see if they can help him out as well. Because see, honestly, we don't have much in this industry to hold on to besides just like raw profits, right? And anybody can get raw profits. I say this as a person who does not make any profit by making these streams just yet, but at the same time, I think that if you make everything for profit, if you do everything for money, then I think once you have money, like, what the hell is your purpose anymore, right? Like, there is nothing else to do anymore. So I think that's what we need to avoid as an industry, that we need to do things not only for the purpose of making money, but for the purpose of them just existing, right? I think the grand timeline is just one of those things. It's for the common good. It's for the people who will come after us if they want to look back. The grand timeline has been really, really helpful in simply me understanding context, me understanding historical nuance, and why something was built in a very particular way. It is very, very detailed, or at least it gives you all the right spots to look at. And the same thing can be said about these copy pastas, right? How many times have we seen like a new social media intern joins or a new chain joins, and they do not understand the mistakes that have been made in the past by different accounts, different intern accounts, or main character accounts. And people try to warn them by dropping down a copy pasta, and people who know, they know what the comment is trying to insinuate, but the brand account or the intern account just replies to it as if it is a random comment, clearly showing that this person does not understand crypto down to that level or down to that cultural level. Now, I'm not saying this that we should gatekeep or anything like that. I'm just saying that this should just be made common knowledge. I don't want to be the kind of guy who basically clowns on people for arriving late to a party. In fact, I'm very, very welcoming. I would urge everybody to be welcoming to people who are coming in through suits, people who have been burned in like previous cycles, and probably the 2021 cycle or probably the 2024 cycle. Even if they lost money in this 2024 2025 cycle, fine. Like, I've lived through like two cycles at this point. This is probably rookie numbers for some of you. Some of you have done like four cycles, five cycles at this point. Like, why are you even here? Like, you've gone like four cycles, five cycles, bro. Like, you've been around for like 16 years or some shit. But I think all of this will become like extremely clear as we move forward, that there would be a true need for people to have contextualized past references. And that's the whole point why I say, okay, DeFi is great, DeFi is amazing, but DeFi which is not rooted in the essence of that which is done right, that can get really, really choppy, and we should try to avoid that as much as possible. Speaking of DeFi, I have to talk about this one, which is like the casino on Mars. It basically has these things. It's useful to think of crypto as a new planet has been settled. Skeptics see a desolate planet, optimists see the planet's potential. Early settlers are a mixed bunch, governance remains ambiguous. A history of speculative and hype cycles has cast a social taboo over the new planet, leaving many to wonder what is its future. Today's casino-like speculation is part of bootstrapping process. Okay, so the by the way, this is basically my belief. The way you know an article is well written is that if you read just the first line of every single paragraph, you should understand what the article is trying to say. Basically, the summary, the summaries that you used to write as kids during English grammar lessons or English literature classes, they were basically tests of how well could you synthesize the first lines of everything. If you think about it, if the article is well written, the first line of every single paragraph should give you the summary of the paragraph. So that's what we are going to speed run here. Settling a new planet is a lot of work. Why is it even worth doing? A new system of property rights is the most needed in places where existing systems fail. Many skeptics wonder when crypto's killer app will arrive, but it turns out it is already here. Money is the first killer app, but it won't be last. So he says that it's money. Zooming out, the new planet is an opportunity to build a new. As importantly, crypto is a bulwark against a world that's increasingly centralizing. Although crypto may have benefits, is all this speculation necessary? Speculative investment is integral to technological revolutions, but speculation in crypto always have a deeper tie. Speculation is the hello world of digital property rights. In the early days of Bitcoin, to think it would someday reach the legitimacy and value it has today seemed crazy. I remember because I was there, bro. The the lines, bro. I have to drop a screenshot of this, right, bro. It was so fucking goated line, man. Like, I'm just gonna retweet this. Man, right? Speculation has also been critical to the growth of crypto as a decentralized financial system. Much crypto skepticism is unimaginative, but some is well earned. Innovation depends on capital and labor applied toward the experiments. Short term speculation is also a zero sum game, with sophisticated traders extracting value from newcomers and possibly burning them forever. This is basically what happens by like people quit after one cycle, especially if they just arrived during the bull part of it. Lastly, there are too many bad actors, scammers, ripples, and black hat hackers. Crypto is almost 15 years old, shouldn't be mainstream already. It turns out that settling a new planet takes time, and most people won't move to the new planet unless the infrastructure is mature and it is no longer a socially taboo. Building social consensus around crypto can never be more challenging than growing a network effect around a communication protocol or a social network. Many of the technologies we talk now for granted were once considered impossible, useless, dangerous, or even fraud. Today, Apple is the world's most valuable company, but it first went public in 1980. Massachusetts barred sales of Apple stock due to its riskiness. Crypto is no different. Bitcoin has famously been proclaimed dead ever since every single year since 2010. There is strong bias in favor of the status quo against change. The presence of skepticism is not an argument against crypto, but equally it's not an argument for crypto. Speculation may sometimes be distasteful, but it's a part of bootstrapping mechanism for one of the most important technologies of our time. So what he is definitely saying is that it's going to take some time, but it will come through. One day it will come through. And now once I've read this article like this, I want to understand this line more, right? Crypto money leads to naturally, because I read this line and this line was the only one that I could not understand. Like this paragraph was the only one that I felt like, okay, I should probably read about it a little bit more, or like study about it a little bit more, right? So that is what I really, really want to talk about, right? One of the first thing is many lack access to banking due to high costs. Others mistrust the banking system. Crypto finance offers cheaper, more convenient, more inclusive solutions. Stablecoin payments, okay, if it's systemic rise, we'll see creators taking ownership in the creator, users taking more control over their identities. I think this is the part where we really fuck up almost all the time. Like, okay, we tried like creator coins, but creator coins have that problem of, see, if I want my mother to invest on my work, I don't understand why more people don't talk about it. But I want you to look at this. Like, this is what I want you to look at. I want everybody to just go sign up here. Join bond is a really good way. So basically, the way bond is working is that they're basically saying, okay, if you want to support Adonis, what you can do is give money to the bond profile of Adonis. They're going to deposit it in Morpho, earn yield on it. That yield will then support Adonis like every single month or every single year. The exact principle remains locked up in the Morpho vault. It's a one-time payment from you, but Adonis eats off of it uh, in perpetuity till, like, the yields drop really low. And I don't know what they're going to do in that case. But I think that's a very good that's a very good mechanism. I think it's more feasible than um, I think it's like way more feasible than simply like buying someone's crypto coin. And the reason I've come to that is because it's just not going to it's not enough. You're fighting a three-pronged battle, bro. Like, you have to convince people to give you money. You have to maintain the price of the token, and then you have to maintain multiple tokens, because there's paragraph token, there's a streaming code token, there's a the token that gets created when you make Zora, right? So there's like so many different forms of like support. You're almost tempted to say, okay, why not just like have one single thing and just people can buy it and like improve it. But I think this bond idea is like much better. So I think we will go there. In terms of identities, I don't see a lot of people fighting over identities. I think the biggest use case that I've seen is like people are really attached to their ENSs, but that's about it. People would really fight for their Instagram username, for example. So if it could be like, if some platform could take off using ENS, then that would be really good. But I don't see like identity being like something that a lot of people are going to shell out a lot of money for. That not everybody will be willing to shell out a lot of money. I know a lot of people who would be happy with like having underscores and like numbers in their name and stuff like that. So it will not create, I don't think it will create like a lot of like revenue based on like how I see the world today. Of course, market change. What would be really interesting is ENSs for like AI agents, because I think that would become very important in the future, that people would want to flex. Like, for example, in Dubai, they're done buying like fancy cars. Like, everybody has fancy cars, right? But what is really important is that now that fancy cars are over, they basically have to go to the next level. And what is the next level? The next level is really fancy number plates. So that is what they're doing. They're buying like the fanciest of all number plates. And yeah, that's basically all towards it. So that is what I want to leave you guys with. I think identity, like AI agents, definitely do play a part. AI would be really, really interesting to see how it integrates blockchain technology. I've yet to see like a killer use case as such. Like I don't see any chains that are being integrated with, ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude for all that I fucking care. Yes, there is a lot on like the world chain side, but like which is like by OpenAI itself, but um and I just don't see it, guys. Like not yet. Okay. Consumers don't want crypto. The idea in their head is just so negative. I think we'll want like overlords to finally like crypto to a certain extent where they can start using the word blockchain without everyone freaking out. And I think not our generation perhaps, but like our children, they would grow up in a world where they'd be pretty open to the idea of blockchains, because like our generation has already lost a lot of money in the global crypto experiment. Now I think that when we become like childbearing as like a generation, um, what is essentially going to happen is that, how mutual funds and stocks were not really popular in India back when my parents were, they had already had me, but I was just like growing and growing. It's only when it became like super financialized, easily accessible on the mobile phone, that we started seeing like all of these mutual funds and stocks and basically investment opportunities being advertised so openly. And now, every single uncle out there in India feels like, okay, yeah, of course stock investing is good, yeah, but if it was that good, why the fuck did you not invest, right? That's the question. And the whole idea was because it was not popular, it was not in the vogue. People were really, really scared of it. They did not want to invest, they did not want to lose money. India has largely relied only on like real estate and gold investments, especially like the lower income families or middle class families. They just relied extensively on that. The only thing that could move you through the social strata at that point of time was having a government job or having like some sort of a professional job. It's just a lawyer, a doctor, and an engineer, which is why that's the three most commonly open paths. And like the three most commonly opted for paths as Indian students. And that's what most kids got pushed down on. Now in our generation, we see the rise of content creation, we also see the backdrop of it, we see that it is taking flight. So the generation right before me, if their kids are also like young, their kids are like 10 years old, 15 years old, if they are getting into content creation, they're a little bit open. But like my parents would not be that open to content creation as an idea. They've just started to be open to the idea of content creation as as a vocation. And the simple reason behind that is that they did not have it during their time. So yeah, that's basically the entire story. Anyway, guys, that's all for today's stream. I really wish I could have streamed more, but the problem is I really have to get to a fucking appointment.